Right, right. And of course, in building Little Big Planet, there was a lot of sentimental value in that. And so one question I'd like to ask you is, what gave you the idea to begin working on games? And what would you say are the biggest inspirations for Little Big Planet?
Oh, well, obviously I was just one member of a team, but we always used to say, and I really believe this, that like we all had our thumbprint on it, right? So like the look of Little Big Planet, the sound of it, and the way it feels and the way it plays was very much a product of the people. And for me, I was massively into kind of miniature rendering styles. So any way that I could make miniature worlds come to life. But your question kind of goes all the way back to how did I get into games in the first place? So trying to do a very, very fast speed run. As a teenager, I was into coding. The demo scene is this kind of mostly European kind of subculture that's still going to this day, where basically kids would, pre-internet more or less, on BBSs and dial-up modems, would make these little programs that are basically music videos, but coded. So like, running on a home computer. And so the demo scene was how I got into coding, like learning how to code music and how to code graphics. And I sent that as a kind of resume, if you like, to Bullfrog, which is a game company that was famous for games like Populous and Theme Park. And at the time, I think they were working on a game called Dungeon Keeper. And I was at high school and I applied for a summer job basically, and I sent my demos as a disc. And that's what I always say to people is like, if you want to get into games, the best thing you can do is make something. It doesn't matter if it's not professional, because no one expects you to be a professional when you're young or if you haven't got qualifications, but just make something. So I put everything I'd ever made onto this disc and sent it in. And they gave me a summer job. And I met Mark Healy, one of the co-founders of Media Molecule. And actually I met Siobhan, I think, that summer as well. So I met a ton of people who ended up being at Media Molecule way back when I was a teenager. And then I followed them through. Bullfrog became, many of the people from Bullfrog went to Lionhead, which made Black and White and Fable. And then from Lionhead, a small group of us left, well, not all from Lionhead, but many of the founders of Media Molecule came from Lionhead. And so then we made Little Big Planet, and the five of us sitting around a table, we were trying to figure out what we were going to make, and we just knew that it had to be, we didn't even know the word user-generated content. That wasn't a thing back then. I think we unironically referenced MySpace in the pitch that we made for Little Big Planet, but we made the Yellowhead prototype, which you can find online, it's well known. And we were combining all of our interests. So Dave was into physics and physics-based platforming. I was into kind of sketchy, small scale rendering. Kareem had this kind of fairy tale angle, and Mark brought the English Country Garden. So very quickly over, the first year or so of Media Molecule, the English Country Garden scene was probably the first one that was realized and suddenly feels like you can recognize it today in those early prototypes and through to Little Big Planet 1. So it was just a product of not just me, but all of the co-founders, and then the first sort of 20 people at Media Molecule really made Little Big Planet 1.